Aloha, fellow Earthlings. Welcome back. If you're coming back, thanks for tuning in today. Today, I wanted to talk about why getting triggered is a good thing. A lot of people don't like to get triggered. Or let's define what triggered is, right? Triggered is when you hear something or you see something and it generates a reaction out of you. Most of the time, negative reaction. People get hostile and aggressive, and that's what you would call triggered. So that's one of the things that's been going around the web, this concept of being triggered. And a lot of people see it as a negative thing, but personally, I have a positive view on it. And the reason why is because when I get triggered or I feel like I'm getting triggered, that's an immediate flag, and it tells me that there's something there that I need to work on. It's kind of pushing out of me emotions and feelings that I should be dealing with because I am having a reaction to something just because I might not agree with it or because it contradicts my beliefs. So I think it's a really good thing to be triggered because then you can address those issues. But the reason a lot of people see it as negative is because most people aren't doing self-work. They're not willing to look at all the issues that are going on or explore all the beliefs that are out there to be explored. So when they see something that contradicts what they believe, they get upset and they lash out and they say, oh, this is bullshit, oh, that's bullshit, that's not true, and they start cussing out, and that's the quote unquote triggered that we hear about. And I just think people need to change their perspective on this whole triggered approach of hearing something that you don't agree with, and instead of lashing out, why do I feel this way? Like, am I identifying so hard with this concept or idea or ideology or belief that I feel emotional when it's challenged? That's the issue. People are attaching emotion and they're latching on to this belief, and so when it is challenged, they respond very aggressively because they feel like you're attacking a part of them because for so long they've identified with it and it's has become a part of them. But now in the struggle of trying to challenge that and possibly letting it go, there's a parasitic, almost like attachment that doesn't want to let them go because it wants to hold that belief in that core belief system in that person's psyche or their psychology. And that's why we see these people's reactions when they're challenged. Even me personally, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen to me, I'm like, wow, man, I had no idea I felt that way about that or had that strong feelings of attachment towards it. Why am I getting offended because somebody posted something that goes against what I kind of believed? That's why it's important to have an open mind, because then that gives you the opportunity to explore other concepts without getting that emotional attachment. And because you tend to lose sight and you tend to become irrational, because you aren't speaking from a place of rationality, you're speaking from emotion. And whenever you get the emotions involved, that kind of creates chaos because you're not responding in the appropriate manner, and then the other person might, respond to your response, and it just creates animosity and chaos, So I would encourage everybody to, whenever you feel triggered, whenever you feel that deep emotional onset after reading or seeing or hearing something that doesn't match your belief system, I would encourage you to analyze that, to take a look at it and not be scared and say, why are you feeling that way? Why are you feeling that attachment? Why are you getting emotional because it's challenging what you believe to be true before? And because you shouldn't have attachments to anything really. The less attachments you have, the better connection you have with the world around you. I know it kind of sounds like it's contradicting, but when you have attached to certain things only, it doesn't leave room for you to make a connection with something else, and you got to stay open and versatile and flow and be in that flow state so that you can try to get the most out of this human experience. That's what it's really all about. We're here to experience this human experience, and some people are only experiencing a little tiny sliver. They're in this little box of just that they can't see past. They have a filter on it that only stuff that fits their belief system can get through, and everything else gets filtered out. And I think that's just like a very unfortunate way to live life, because you miss out on so much, when you're boxed in and caged in and have these limiting belief systems. That's why I make efforts every day to try to get rid of belief systems, to try to disassociate, unattached from all these things and just become as free as possible, so that I can float through all the facets of life and kind of fulfill every experience that I can, the most possible, because I feel like that's what I'm here to do. That's what we're all here to do, is fulfill experiences and to experience, in this conscious matter state. And so that's my view on being triggered, and I absolutely see it as a positive thing, and I think you should too, if you want to continue on this process of self-evolution, self-development. It's going to be a real useful tool to be able to analyze weak areas in your life, or areas that aren't serving you to your best interest, because they're limiting your experience here on this plane. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you out there, and I love to connect with everybody, and it's a blessing to have this community that's being built, and this consciousness evolution, and seeing it develop and being a part of it is just a very blissful experience. So see you guys next time. Take care.